Hey, what's going on YouTube? I'm DarkJack, and in this video I get a nuclear medal on the map Raid, which I know is really unique and special, but I don't want to talk about the gameplay, but instead what I want to talk about are why there are so many sequels and why they're so profitable. So when you look at the most popular games out there, you've got Grand Theft Auto 5, Halo 4, Uncharted 3, Gears of War 3, God of War 3, Infamous 2, Killzone 3, Diablo 3, Borderlands 2, Dead Space 3. You've got all these games with numbers in them, and why is that? Why is it that each game studio is dedicated to only one IP, or intellectual property, and just keeps making sequels of that one game? It's the same with movies too. You've got the Star Wars trilogy, then there's the new Star Wars trilogy, episodes 1 through 3, and Disney bought out Star Wars for $4 billion because they know that new IPs don't work in this generation and in this economy. And so when you look at John Carter, which is a movie that bombed, it was a Disney sci-fi movie. After that, Disney knew they had to buy Star Wars if they wanted to make a successful sci-fi movie. Then you have The Godfather 1 through 3, Indiana Jones, The Lord of the Rings trilogy, and the Harry Potter books. These all have sequels to them. And the reason why sequels are so popular is because people who read or buy or play the first one, they feel compelled to buy the second one and to keep buying them because they want to know the end of the story. And so if you don't buy the sequels to a game or a book or a movie, it's like starting to read a really good book or starting to watch a really good movie and not finishing the movie. Because the movie is not complete until you have watched all the movies in the series. It's the same with a game or a book too. They're all one story, and if you don't buy the next ones, you're not getting the full story. And everyone wants to know the ending to a good story. And so once you start reading a good book, you can't put it down, because you want to know what's going to happen next. It's the same too with games and movies that are sequels. And so businesses, they exploit this fact and they use this to their own ends, to make sequels over and over again. Even though the gameplay is essentially the same, people will keep buying them because they want to know the ending. It's that powerful. And because of that, I always wonder why it is that YouTube allows gameplay videos on YouTube. Why is it that you can upload a playthrough of a game on YouTube to a sequel, but you're not allowed to upload a movie on YouTube? So why are game playthroughs allowed, but movies not allowed? And so that's one of the things that I've been wondering, because you would think that a game playthrough on YouTube would take away the incentive of someone to buy a new game, because they could just watch it on YouTube, especially if it's a very story and cutscene driven game, something like Heavy Rain. And then that's also why game demos are not very popular, because game developers do not want to have demos for the game, because then gamers will have the experience of playing the demo, which is a shortened version of the game, instead of having to buy the game for the experience. And when you look at recent games, prequels have usually not done as well as sequels. And so you've got Halo Reach, Gears of War Judgment, God of War Ascension. Those were all prequels, and they didn't sell as well as the sequels. And that's why companies tend to make sequels instead of prequels. Because with a prequel, you already know the ending. And the ending was already before that game in the sequel. That's why when you have a successful game, you never kill off a main character when you have a profitable IP. But in some games they have a fake death of their main character, like Commander Shepard in Mass Effect 3. You thought he was dead, but then you saw he was still alive at the end. You had Isaac Clarke in Dead Space 3. You thought he was dead, but at the end he's trying to communicate with Ellie. You had Kratos' death in God of War 3, but you know in God of War 4 they're just going to bring him back from the dead, like I did with the second game. And then you had L.A. Noire and Red Dead Redemption, where the main characters did die, because Rockstar had no intention of making a sequel. So when you have no intentions of making a sequel, you can just kill off your main character. But when you have a profitable IP, you never ever kill off the main character. And that's why Microsoft would never kill off the Master Chief. And Jeff Downs, the voice actor of the Master Chief, said he hopes that the Master Chief will have a hero's death in Halo 6, but obviously he doesn't understand how big of a franchise Halo is to Microsoft, and so that would never ever happen. So you know when you play a Halo game that the Master Chief is never going to die. You never have to worry about that, because that's the best thing that Microsoft has going for the Xbox right now. That's really their only one franchise that's great. So I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary, and I'll see you guys later.